Can't help it. Oh my goodness. You know that feeling when you make a joke right before you turn the mics on and then you can't help but laugh when you come into the air? What can I say? I'm just so happy to be here. Excuse me while I cough some more. Yeah, welcome back, everybody. It's AEL University League. Hey, it's formal again, back with one fetch. I mean, of course, it'd be the two of us. We've got 3 exciting games for you today. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of keen to get straight into it.
I'm pretty keen as well. We do have some sponsors to thank beforehand, so we're gonna have to. We can't get to the game just yet. I know the players are just as keen. But if you're ready to do those, I'm ready to.
Yeah. Who's sponsoring this fantastic season?
Who is sponsoring this fantastic season? First of all, it is, of course, Predator. Conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming today. Prepare. Predator are the gaming PC partner of the AEL, conquering new worlds. Predator puts power and precision in your hands. Elevate your gaming experience in every way with quality and performance thanks to Predator. And, of course, AOC, the best viewing experience. AOC is a global leader in monitor display technology for more than 50 years. AOC has delivered an exceptional viewing experience to millions of loyal customers worldwide. Today, the company offers a wide selection of stylish monitors for home, office, and gaming. Can confirm they are very pretty. Rig headsets, what it takes to win. Rig develops headsets delivering superior audio quality for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels. Join the Rig team and enhance your gaming experience today. I think that like audio quality is like the most important part of games in so many ways.
Yeah,
I know, like, audio quality is good too, but like if you can get the right hearing and stuff in there, it's really important.
No, I do have to agree with you. Audio quality is great. It's why I'm actually so sad that like recently some of my headphones died and everything's kind of sounded not so great since then, so I need to get myself some Rig ASAP. That is for sure. I'm going to address an elephant in the room right now before it becomes probably a decreasing problem. Voice is not 100% today. I hope you all can bear with me. Sometimes I might get a little coffee. I do apologize. Yeah. So we're going to make do, though. Like, I just can't miss it. It's the opening day fetch, so I'm just going to smash through this, I suppose.
We'll keep it nice and calm, nice and like.
It's so hard to be calm.
It's true. I know. I've cast you enough times to know that it's very hard to keep calm when there is exciting Rocket League going on. But it's fine. It's just the coughing and Farfetch stream. That's just it. You know, I don't know what the coughing's Pokédex number is off the top of my head, but we've already got one video game reference in, which isn't Rocket League. So let's look at getting into the actual game because that's far more interesting than silly.
Yeah, I think we should probably get into this game about now. I do have to agree with you on that front. The word has been given to the players, so we're going to go ahead and jump to the pitch. Right about now. How about let's do this? It's UOW on the blue side. UniSA are going to be in orange. It's going to be an interesting game, I think. You know, going through the players real quick. The Bannister, as well as Nutmeg 9. I can read. And King Judas on the UOW side for UniSA. Halsey, as well as is Nugs. Got to get them Nugs and your pet fish.
I like pet fish. Just it's literally fit for a fish profile picture. That's dedication.
It's a fish car as well.
It's a fish car. Okay, I hadn't seen that yet. That's very exciting. Honestly, quality names. But yeah, right at the moment is actually UniSA on the attack. They have held the ball pretty well in this attacking half. But you know, haven't quite got a score yet. We expect this to be slower. You know, welcome back, of course, to the new season. You're gonna hear a lot of these things together. Oh, actually, it's Nug. Gets a really good attempt, a shot on goal there. But they aren't able to keep the ball afterwards. What I was gonna say, first game, warm-up time, bit of time for everyone to kind of get the feel for the season, get a feel for how their opponent's gonna play. We always say that. But so far, it has been an interesting back and forth. This looks like it's gonna be a decent series.
Yeah, and I mean, this season in particular, I think it's going to be a pretty exciting one as well because there are more teams, I think, competing in this season than any prior, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of went through it before on that visual as Nutmeg 9 is going to get that first goal. But to carry on my point, yeah, we have groups all the way down to the letter G this time around. So it's going to be a tough competition, I feel.
That means there's an F for formal and fetch. We have to cast
true.
out. We have to cast as many Group F games as we can. They're going to deliver for us. But yeah, at the moment, it's UOW opening up with that scoring. You know, like you said, Nutmeg 9. It's been kind of a slower game than I think I was expecting. Not that we've seen much from these teams yet. I think we've seen a few of the players individually, but not really seen how they play as a team. Halsey has a bit of a breakaway here, still gets dispossessed in the midfield. That was a really unfortunate lack of touch, whiff I should say. because it felt like the player in the corner was in such a good position to pick that ball back up. But it goes back over to UOW, and they might have an opportunity to score again.
So, yeah, just to carry on your point, though, just to provide a bit more context for today, yeah, we are going to be going to Group F, actually. That's going to be our next game, where we're going to be watching Monash take on Griffith. And then we'll be finishing off the day with University of New South Wales taking on Murdoch as well in Group A. This is a Group B match, it should be worth noting. And, yeah, 1-0 lead right now in favor of UOW. They actually have named themselves We Suck at Rocket League. And they're against the GOATs. So you would think, based on team name alone, UniSA would be coming into this one as favorites. But at the moment, it's been pleasantly surprising how even this game actually has been.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do feel like the narrative's already there. We don't even have to harp on it. But if the GOATs...
Oh, that's an open net.
Almost massive from its nugs. I thought that was kind of a contested touch. So I don't know. But yeah, still open net whiffs. They happen halfway through this game, and yeah, it has been a very low-scoring game, and I'm kind of a little surprised about that. But possibly an opportunity there for kind of a counter-attack. I was looking for a counter-attack a little bit for UniSA. I felt like they were getting a little bit passive, 3 players just sitting right on goal, and now they're all kind of using the same spot. I don't know. I feel like maybe UniSA could kind of pick up a little bit in terms of their momentum, their pace. They're a little tired, so to speak.
Yeah, no, their spacing has been very, very tight throughout, whether it's on offense or defense. They kind of move as like a homunculus group right now, and it does make it sort of difficult, I think, for them to have these sort of snappy plays, but where it's giving them some benefits is they're always sort of around for a challenge, and if the challenge goes somewhat awry, it does feel like we're going to see a UniSA member there first. They just haven't been able to convert that to a goal just yet. However, it should be worth noting that all it takes is one sort of break in that tight spacing, and all of a sudden you should see another goal go the other way. That's kind of how that first goal was scored by the side of UOW, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again this game.
Yeah, that's like when you have such a low-scoring game, kind of a slower pace to it, those individual scores do kind of make a difference, and that's that can be something you really need to keep an eye out for, else you just lose a game off one decision or one slip up, I guess, which is kind of due to your positioning and things. As it stands, though, UOW still back on the attack. They're not going for those individual big goals. Obviously, they want to look for one more. They don't want to just be sitting on this 1-goal advantage. But they are still in the lead right at the moment. They don't have to put the pressure on immediately. A couple of missed touches from the side of UNSA. It doesn't result in too much because, again, UOW don't seem like they're looking for those individual scoring shots, but still, it kind of like you were hinting at, it can kind of cost you if you are taking up this very tight, close space itself.
I feel like, though, they're not capitalizing on moments where they're closer to the ball than their opponents, and I'm talking from the UniSA side. They've been hesitant in a couple key moments, particularly in that last 30 seconds or so. They had 2 chances, it looked like, to get a nice defensive clear that they didn't jump upon. Now, though, they'll still get one last shot on target. Halsey puts it in. I guess they only needed that one touch, and we have a tie ball game.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. We kind of talked about we want you don't want to sit on 1 goal for UOW. You want to get a little bit more in the play. You want to still be kind of going for those big shots, but it isn't even score with 18 seconds to go. And UniSA, they've been changing that style a little bit. They've been kind of picking up the pace a touch, but it really is now. I feel like back to UOW, the fact they've had the possession of the ball, but they haven't done the perimeter of the net. Good rotational defenses kind of coming through a little bit more from UniSA, making sure they're not taking up too much of the same space. The Bandits run is probably going to be the last player to get an opportunity to score this one. And for our first game of the first series of the first season of 2022, we have ourselves an overtime. Yeah,
I should be surprised, but not really. Again, these two teams pretty evenly matched. I do want to see a bit more coming out of some of the members on this UOW side, though. The Bandister, definitely one of the 2 right now, hasn't really had that big of an impact. It's kind of just been more Nutmeg 9 doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Only 1 shot so far from the team in blue throughout all of regulation.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. They've had the possession. It has been that, they have been out playing the possession style.
That's
off
it.
The crossbar, though.
Oh,
that
no.
It should have been, but it's cleaned up by your pet fish. And they do get it eventually. They commit all 3 players to it. They knew that that's kind of what they had to do. That crossbar, a little tricksy, but you don't want to be relying on that extra rebound.
I feel like right there, it's Nugs had that opportunity for the highlight game-ending goal. Was going to look so sick. Clip it, post it on Twitter. look how strong I am, and then you instead wind up posting it off that open net, and all the glory goes to your pet fish instead. And now when it gets posted on Twitter, everyone's going to laugh and go, ha ha, you missed the open net. You can laugh because you won the game, don't get me wrong, but maybe you want to win the series next.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good shout, honestly. I think a series is worth more than that little highlight goal. But also, kind of to that point, you can turn that around. You can spin that and be like, well, actually, I wanted all 3 of my teammates to get a touch onto it. Look at how precisely I set that ball up for my teammate. I'm so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was going to be a little bit close to a quick goal.
I mean, you can say you can cope all you like when you miss an open net. Don't worry, I'm the king of coping up over my mistakes. But you know, deep down inside, you know the truth. Good pass from his nug straight to Halsey. Fantastic opening goal for UniSA.
Yeah, it was really good. That's that kind of classic. Also, Halsey probably didn't mean to be there at first, but was like, all right, opportunity is there. If my teammate's going to set it up, I'll happily close that one off. And it's pretty good stuff for UniSA to go 1-up in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, for UniSA as well, again, I mean, a lot of these universities, why there are so many teams or so many groups, is because a lot of universities are sending in multiple teams. But UniSA, as a university, I mean, they're historically a very strong school in this competition. I think they've made a couple finals over last year alone. So, I mean, UniSA beating Lethal. In fact, they won semester 3, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right. Yeah, and I mean, I know that UNSW as well. They're never like one of the top teams. You know, we often have like a few universities who are at the top. UNSW often put up a good display too. So I do think these are 2 decent universities. That one comes just off the top, and the second touch isn't quite there. That second player isn't able to find the connection. Third player is hanging back and playing on the halfway mark. A turnaround attack attempt coming through from the side of UniSA, but they just aren't quite able to put that one through either. A few attempts and a few opportunities, but kind of whiffed for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, I just want to see more impact from a couple members from UOW, and hopefully they can get themselves more involved. They are playing a little bit further back, but at the same time, they're also being more proactive. And I know that kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but like they're actually willing to commit this time around. We're just seeing those commits come from a very deep position. And while that's helping them, I think, occasionally get a good read and actually make contact with the ball, it's always being read by the UniSA side. So you got to be a little bit more careful, I feel like, right now if you're UOW, and you got to get a little bit more dynamic, but I don't know if that's in their playbook.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. You know, generally, if you don't see that by the second game, you're probably not going to see it. And 3 players all kind of stacked in front of the goal. Of course, still opportunity to cover a few of plays, but yeah, I'm starting to really agree with you on that in terms of the fact they aren't necessarily going for those. But you know, look, we got to see. We got to see how it's going to go. Right at the moment, is going to be UOW sitting back on the defensive.
Oh, this could be. No.
Yeah, it was a 50. It was a 54. It felt like the game. Of course, we are still pretty early in this game too, but yeah, the fact that UniSA right at the moment are just kind of controlling the attack is.
I mean, it's 3 in the box. Like they're playing 3 in the box right now. They're scared to challenge the setup. It looks like coming from UniSA, and that's like I kind of am like holding my breath each time UniSA gets a touch on the ball because they're allowed to kind of put it wherever they want. So a lot of these attacks are essentially UniSA being like. They have full earnest on what sort of attack they want to send forth right now. They're just kind of going to keep pressuring, keep poking until they find that hole in the defense, until they find that gap that works. And the longer they stick with it, the more likely they're going to find it. I mean, look right now, middle of the pitch looked open, but your pet fish may have put it a little bit too high, saving for its nugs. Doesn't matter. The ball still wound up going in. There you go, 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it wasn't actually the setup we thought it was. We were like, it's such a great passing play, but actually just kind of slides in over the top as well. But that's the other thing. Like, you talked a bit about like why the dedicated goalkeeper in high school league specifically, I should preface, about why the dedicated goalkeeper isn't a particularly useful play style in Rocket League. But more than that, 3 players staying relatively static just limits your options so much in terms of defensive angles and ball and like heights you can play against. And I feel like that's kind of what we saw. It's like, that ball's a bit high for us. We don't have enough boost because we've kind of been sieged out. GG, next play.
Yeah, it was a bit rough right there. However, the Bandster almost makes a nice play happen through that backboard. Isn't quite able to stay with it as we'll roll right on across that middle of the field right now, getting close to the net, swinging a miss from multiple defenders. Bandits run, going to play along that corridor, flicks it over your pet fish, going to connect to King Judas, and That was a good pass play. So that's the kind of dynamic attack that I want to see more from UOW. Doesn't give them a goal this time, but it gives me hope they might find some scoring opportunities in the future.
Yeah, and it's not like they don't have the rotations to get back, because they were immediately back in goal before the play was really in the hands of UniSA right here. So there might be a knock goal. Oh, that was awfully close to being an own goal, but it's fine. It's fine. Halsey's cleared it out. We're all good for the next second or so. Big 50 here might determine whether this one goes through. Comes off the wall, but no one there to pick it up.
As we watch the Banster try to push it to the middle of the pitch right now, eventually Nugs will follow it through. Ball still going to be held up for grabs. It's going to be Halsey who plays it across the center, looking for that next touch. Defenders in the way. 38 seconds, pardon me, 37, 35 seconds remaining on this one. Banster tries to clear it across the middle of the field. Won't be able to go too far with it. Final 30 seconds, and it's looking like, well, it's definitely looking like it now. 3-0 lead for the team, going to be going up 2-0 at the end of this one. It's UniSA.
Yeah, it's probably got to steal it. And it is like some really nice passing plays coming out from UniSA as well. We kind of talked about the fact that UOW is starting to get some of those things online. You know, when they have the confidence to actually try and get the ball out of the defensive half to go for a big clear. They've had they've had the guts to go for a pass play. We talked about it before. But this is not quite connecting necessarily, whereas UniSA, they're pretty comfortable with those big backboard plays. And yeah, it's more than more than just that, but that does feel like a bit of a difference maker in the game. I mean, maybe King Ju just kind of helps get something up through here. Nutmeg 9 has the ability to put the ball in the center of the field, but you know, even if they get this one, it's not enough time.
No, it's not going to be enough time. Not in game number 2, and unfortunately for UOW, that means they are now 2 games down. UniSA looking pretty good. A lot more dominant game number 2 than game number 1, and that doesn't bode well for UOW right here. UniSA, they could be looking at that 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, and you know, it doesn't feel great to sort of go down 3-0 in the first of your games, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen in probably a fair few of these series, because we have, again, you know, we say it a fair bit, quite a difference in terms of skill levels across the board with all of these teams. It means that there will be things like this. There will be 3-0s. There will be teams who, especially I think in the case of UOW here, have things they can work on. They're things they can look at and be like, okay, that's what we messed up and that's what we have to work on. And even though it was like, you know, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Formal, but I feel like UniSA did kind of outclass them in pretty much every category. Even though there are things like UOW doing well, it still kind of looks like,
yeah. I mean, I don't want to interrupt your point, so I'll let Halsey do it instead. That shot out of the corner, even though there were 2 defenders sitting there, just not much they could do to stop that. UniSA, to further on carry on your point, yeah, they're leading in every single category, and I think the most dramatic one thus far has to be that shot differential right now. There's only been 5 shots on goal coming from UOW compared to what I think now will be about 18 or 19 out of UniSA.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's hard to tell because the stats reset at the beginning of each game, but that it does sound about right. I still think that UniSA's like scoring tempo hasn't been as high as it possibly could be. It's lifted in the last couple of games, double commit on the defense there, but you know, Nugs can't really put that one in a position where a teammate can particularly follow up with it. So
it was a double commit, but also a non-committal touch, right? Because they just jumped up. Oh my goodness, you have to make this Bandister. Thank you very much. Tie ball game.
Yeah, there it is.
I mean,
A bit of a that's the thing. Now UniSA have to be like, wait, are we too aggressive? I think it's just a bit of an unfortunate situation. They just didn't get the rotates back in time. But yeah, no, I was gonna say that it's, even though it has been UniSA kind of edging out UOW in every category, it's not like UOW don't have like things you can look at and be like, oh, fix that, and that's the first step, and everything will kind of cascade from there. But at the end of the day, if you are getting beaten out in pretty much every category, it's very, very hard to win games. You know, there's no avenue for really kind of comeback, even though they are 1-1 in this game.
Yeah, hey, you know, it could be the start. You know, capitalizing on unforced errors, I think, is such a crucial gameplay element, especially during group stages when you're having these weird skill mismatches. Sometimes that's all you can do if you're the underdog, and I don't know how that shot went in. 3 defenders went up for it in the box. No one could make the save, and there you go. UOW have a lead. What is that? Like, actually,
instead of static defenders, like there's 3 static defenders, you just can't contest the high ball. Yeah, that was a mess.
That was one of the worst displays of defense I think I've ever seen. My goodness, what was that? I can't. Oh, I wish I wished I was able to properly just lay into and lampoon UniSA after that. I can't. My throat's not going to allow it. Consider yourselves lucky right now. But if I ever see that again, UniSA, you know, sick or not, I'm going in.
Oh my god. I mean, I think it's the fact that they timed their jumps so well together. They all
Yeah.
jumped at like within a few frames of each other, and it was perfect. Not perfectly good, but perfect.
It was one of those AEL moments. Speaking of which, a
Yeah.
beautiful dunk turns into a pass, turns into a goal.
Yeah, I love that little, like, that was a yeah, that was a really nice little angle on that dunk from Halsey. Obviously, you know, from good cleanup and everything like that. But yeah, it was a neat little touch, and does equalize the game again. It's weird because we had Utopia Coliseum already, and yet this is the meme game.
Yeah, I mean, we never really do much Wastelands. Is Wastelands like next level memeage? Is this been like, you know, secret untapped memeage that we've been missing out on for years?
I'd believe it. Honestly, I'd very much believe it. It's Mad Max. It's the
It is the Australian map. That is true.
Well, that pass back was a bit rough. Talking about
Wait,
capitalizing on unforced
does,
errors.
does this mean that UOW is actually playing a home game right now?
I don't know who to flame here.
I'm just flaming the. Okay, let me make things clear. I'm sure UOW is a beautiful campus. I'm just flaming the entire state of Western Australia.
Okay, fair enough. I thought it was Uni of Wollongong.
Oh.
That's
Oh, well,
why
in
I
that
was
case, yeah, you could be right. Actually, that could be on me. Well, in that case, yeah, maybe they don't have the. Well, I don't know. Is there? Oh no, neither of them are Northern Queensland either.
Yeah. It's weird because neither South Australia nor nor the coastal New South Wales really is a desert. I didn't even take this about like ACT honestly. But, you know.
ACT is beautiful. I wouldn't.
It's still a desert though. It's still very hot and very dry.
Fair
Those
enough.
are its two main characteristics. Nice
Oh.
but the Bandits run to be able to flick that ball in off that defensive save.
Yeah, I mean, that was just awkward defense right there. The double commit kind of put its nugs in the wrong spot, and they wound up going for boost as the attack was coming through. I don't think they expected it to be that fast and that aggressive, so credit where it's due. Good goal, good lead, UOW. They're now, you know, in it with a chance to win it. If they can hold on for a minute and a half, we could be going to a game 4.
Yeah, or if they're even able to put some more aggression on the board. That said, that double commit was really awkward. Halsey doesn't quite get that big flying touch across the field, so it's going to be, you know, 3-2 for at least a little bit longer, and it feels like all of these teams can manage one save. You know, or both these teams, I should say, can manage one save. It's the second save, it's the play after the first play, the shot after the first shot, which they seem to struggle with. And that's like, you know, I mean, if they can kind of pick that up and adapt to that on the attack, it might be the secret, and especially to sort of a comeback from the likes of UOW.
Yeah, I mean, UOW, I feel like they've also gotten a lot more success by having 2 players, at least at minimum, playing a lot further forward than what we saw before. However, when you do that, you can't get punished. Bandits run, able to make that first save, but here comes that next shot, and this time the Bandits is actually going to be, or the Bandits run is actually going to be able to make that save. So there you go. Next shot saved as well. Defense. UOW staying alive. They want to stay in this series. They might be able to do it.
Yeah, only 30 seconds to hold one goal. I mean, it is still Rocket League. The pace is fast enough that this could happen in the blink of an eye.
Uh-oh, this is dangerous.
At the moment. Yeah, it is the pass over across the goal to your pet fish, who just didn't have that angle. Snugs is there and is threatening the attack, but just isn't able to keep it out of the hand of UOW right there.
Oh, that's a shot!
This run has to clear it, and they have been the one to step up, just like you said.
That was an amazing save, though, in the final seconds of the game. I feel like that was going to be the last chance for UniSA to put this one away in regulation. That is for sure. Game number 4 around the corner. Ball will hit the ground. UOW begin their fight back in style, capitalizing on mistakes, playing a more upfront style of Rocket League. And look at that. First game where they have more than 5 shots. In fact, they have 8 altogether, and they needed all of them to get that win. As I said before, I wasn't tracking exactly how many shots they took in the first 2 games, but I feel like that was more combined. It was.
Like,
they had 5 combined in the first 2.
Yeah, okay, that was good. You know, good stat keeping. I like it.
I mean, well, when you have 1 shot in an entire game that goes into an overtime, I'm going to take notice of that.
Yeah, look, I was playing with someone who has a degree. I was playing like dice games with someone who has a degree in maths, and neither of us could figure out the score. So like, you'd think that's the case, but it is hard.
What?
Mathematics is hard. Adding one is very difficult.
I have
Halsey,
questions.
nice little attempt there. Yeah, don't worry. I have questions too.
Well, I imagine they'll never get answered. Now, this is the Australian map, right? Like, this is the actual Australian map.
Yeah, I reckon.
Oh,
It
wait.
could be.
Are
Yeah,
there
it could be, like-
cactus in Australia like that?
I mean, there are.
There are?
some.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
cacti do exist, but I don't know about specifics.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is Australia or Arizona. And all I know
I
is
was
that wherever
thinking
this
that-
desert is, it starts with the letter A.
Ooh, okay. We've narrowed it down at least. That's like 1/26 of all deserts statistically.
Well, okay, wait. So you're saying there's an equal amount of deserts that start with the letter X and Q as A
No, but
and...
there's probably more which start with E because E is the most common number.
Well,
Letter.
oh, the most common number. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad we're on the same page here. 1
Well,
minute into this game, and that should have been the first goal, but the defense does come through. Nutmeg Janine able to find that save on the goal line. How is that name pronounced? Because I know I'm getting it wrong.
Nutmeg 9? I think you were
Oh.
right. I think you said Nutmeg 9 before.
Oh, I
and
did
reckon
say
that's it.
Nutmeg 9 before, and then I
The bait-
forgot.
The bait is that they have like the numbers in their name. Sorry, the letters in their name add up to 7 or 8. That's fine. Yeah, add up to 8, not 9, and that tilts me. That's my complaint for today.
But
But
they have...
you know, the side of UOW has actually been stepping up in defense. We talked about the fact that if you don't have an area where you're beating out your opponent, you kind of struggle to come back into it. And I feel like UOW, if they play through defense, I don't know, I kind of like that. That's kind of a look which could be good for them.
Yeah, I agree, and I'd be curious to see if they're able to find that out right now. I mean, at the moment, though, this has been one of the best sustained attacks we've seen from this UOW side. That goal almost finds its way through. Nugs is able to make the save. Since Game 3, UOW has looked like a completely different team. They're confident in their rotations. They're playing it forward. They're attacking. I have no idea what changed in this squad, but the tempo at which they play, the decision-making, everything, it's just been so much more decisive. And they're actually reaping the rewards from it.
Yeah, and like, oh, actually, that could just be a goal straight
That
off
is?
the steal. Yeah, it just comes through off the post, and there it is. They're rewarded with a goal. And again, you talked about it. You said that they weren't getting to the balls which they had priority on. They weren't getting to the balls they were closer to. They do exactly that, and they just get a goal off it immediately.
Yeah, as we do continue along in this one, UOW once again with the lead on the cusp, the precipice of that Game 5, and I would not have expected that after our first 2 games right now. I still think it's a tall order, because even though UOW is looking better and they have that lead, UniSA still seems like a strong team, but that's an unforced error in front of the goal. It's going to be saved by Nugs from behind. Scary situation. UniSA lucky to get out of that one unscathed.
Yeah, indeed. They might even have an opportunity for a counterattack there, but like its Nugs just doesn't quite find the connection. He does get demoed. We are seeing that a little bit happening a little bit more, but this time it's good protection against the backboard play coming in through its Bandits run. And there is the redirection on your pet fish. Maybe the defense wasn't quite in position. I didn't quite see what happened there, but I know that one of the defenders was just caught on like the wrong side of the goal.
I mean, it's a tough one to read, though. Inside post is kind of a weird defensive position to play right there when the shot's coming kind of straight at you. I'd understand that if they're coming through the corner, but when you're stuck in that spot, like at that stage when you've already made that decision, there's not too much you can do at the end of the day. So if you're going to be questioning anything from the defense, it's why the decision to play that post inside was even made to begin with. And I'd have to go back and kind of see the approach once again from UniSA. It could have made sense at the time, even though it doesn't when the goal is scored.
Yeah, I think it was one of those like cognitive things where you're kind of running.
What? Oh, that pinch had power. Is that a shot? Oh, almost saved by King Judas.
Yeah, there was some interesting plays there. I was too busy worrying about the players who kind of
Yeah.
at each other. But yeah. No, I think that like it's one of those things where like the sort of the cognitive load, I guess. You focus so much on doing one thing that you kind of, even though you have plenty of time to react to the fact that it is the wrong thing, you kind of just don't realize it until it's way too late.
Yes, we're going to see it pass off that backward right now. Your Pet Fish doesn't want to wait. Set forward to challenge Nutmeg, but didn't quite commit fully for it that time, or at least didn't commit fast enough this time. Your Petfish, though, will make contact. Attacking pressure still being put on from the UOW side. Swinging a miss, though, across the middle of the pitch. Might set up UniSA on the other side. Halsey has a chance to pass it down, but the ball gets away from them, and that will lead to the defensive clear.
It should be set up quite nicely here for Nugs. But yeah, there's a bit of an odd touch there. They are pulling the defenders out if there's a cast connection, something which we really haven't seen as much from UniSA. I mean, UOW, they're finding their tempo in those passes, finding themselves a little bit in general. But yeah, we still haven't quite seen that so much from UniSA. So
that was a bad touch.
8 seconds left to go. Yeah, it wasn't. There's been a few of those this series, though.
Yeah, there's been some weird touches, I do have to agree, particularly in the middle of the field. That, though, was a beautiful shot. Nugs is going to get the goal with 11 seconds remaining. That probably ends the series front and center, UniSA.
It's still 11 seconds to go, but it has, generally speaking, been sort of UOW on the back foot, I should say, out of those attacking plays from the goal. So, yeah, we see it again. 10 seconds left. Feels like UniSA will be pretty happy just to sort of put this one on the ground the second they have a chance to, and that'll be our series. That said, kind of almost a shame that UOW didn't find this pace a little bit earlier into the series, because we really could have seen a fantastic set of matches. I mean, they were pretty good. I definitely enjoyed them, but we could have seen a really intense series. And I'm sure we'll see more of UOW as the series goes on.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think we definitely will. But overall, I guess at the end of the day with that series, my takeaway is UOW is not a pushover team, despite what games 1 and 2 kind of told us right there. When they were willing to kind of take risks, play a bit further forward, they looked so much more confident. And it'll be interesting to see if they can take that approach in the future. For UniSA, they looked fine. I still think this team probably could work on their consistency a little bit, especially on defense. When they get put under pressure, they kind of tended to crumble, and then when they crumbled on defense, they would follow up by crumbling on offense as well, where we saw some weird counterattack. So both teams with a lot of growth to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think UOW just need to warm up a bit more. Maybe that's the thing they got to do. And UniSA need to play with each other a bit more, because I think they're all good players, but it felt like there were some passes to space which should have been passes to another player.
Well, that said, we're going to find out where they go throughout the season. But for now, we're going to be throwing it to a break. When we come back, we're going to Group F for Group Fetch/Formal. And it's going to be Monash taking on Griffith when we do get there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Do stay with us. More Rocket League when we return. It's a hot drop, everybody. What happens when players are so eager, they don't wait for the cue. Monash are in blue. Griffith are in red, or orange, I should say. Too much League of Legends. And you know what? I guess the F stands for false start, Fetch.
Oh, I get it now. I thought they were doing it just for us, but you know what? That's the truth. We are all the way over in Tokyo, though. I feel like I'm compelled to reference this as it is the best stadium. You know, just how it is.
Interesting. So this is your favorite stadium. Well, I think Extremely Washed might agree right now as they get the first goal for Griffith.
Yeah, and the teams, of course, you know, Monash, like I said, Monash in blue, Griffith in orange. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Monash is Coolman 100, Juicy 308, and JHF 5167, going really hard on the alphanumerics there.
Yeah, that they are. And meanwhile, on that orange side of one Griffith, you've got Sleepy, Extremely Washed, and Shiro. Now, these are names, again, it always is interesting for me because at the start of every season, there are names that I think are familiar, but I can never quite put my finger on it. I feel that's the case right now for Sleepy and Shiro on this Griffith side. Extremely Washed, though, is the one who got that first goal. I don't know. I feel like these are familiar names, and when your name is familiar to me, it comes with expectations. So I'm kind of leaning on Griffith right now to be the favorites in this match.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting as well is both of these universities have produced some pretty impressive teams over the years. We kind of talked about a little bit about it last series, I should say. But yeah, these teams, they do well, generally speaking. You expect them to get a team into the finals. Shiro comes the big attempt on goal, but it just comes off the post. With that said, their mates over at Griffith have had a really good job of keeping up the play. Double demo, but not much going to be capitalized off that just yet, as Shiro's going to be able to slowly put the ball backward.
So I'm going to put up something right now. This is really in-depth analysis, but as we zoom in a little bit onto Juicy's car, is that the ugliest car we have seen on stream?
I'm not. Oh, it's close. Yeah, I know the one you meant. I should have. I was like, I'll double check which one it is, but no, I should have known instinctively.
It's the Paladin.
Just with it's God, you can't ruin the Paladin. The Paladin's so
look
sleek.
at it.
Yeah,
look at it.
I'm looking at it. It's spiky.
What about that is sleek?
At the moment, I don't know. I swear they've increased the ride height as well, and that I kind of hate that.
Yeah, you need more downforce, all right? If you want to make those tight
exactly.
turns and keep that momentum going, it's all about the downforce. 1-0 lead right now in favor of the Griffith side. As I apologize for derailing everyone. Let's get back on topic because Extremely Washed, a nice shot from the corner, making it 2-0.
Yeah, and I mean, they have had control of the play most of the time. I feel like Griffith have been the ones who have been most active in the play. We've seen shots come off the backboard which haven't quite connected. They're still going for them and they're getting the ball back off that rebound. They have just been doing so well so far at being the ones to dictate the play, not just in terms of the pace, but also in terms of where the ball goes. Sleepy right now is going to try and keep that happening. No real clear coming through from their opponents right at the moment on the side of Monash, but still potential to go. They've still had touches on the ball. It hasn't been like they've been getting completely outpaced altogether. It's just felt like Griffith have just been one step ahead of them.
So, what is your take, Fetch, on players listening into the cast?
I think it's very funny because we get to insult them.
True. Juicy, your car is still ugly, all right? You could come at me all you like. Your car is still ugly. 2-0 lead right now. Pardon me, for the Griffith side.
I was wondering where you were going. I was wondering if, because we've referenced a few players so far.
Oh, Juicy straight up called us out in the game chat.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, I have chat off still, but yeah, that's okay,
I probably should, but I don't, because I like to see the banter. I think it's another element of the game, as long as the banter stays, friendly, doesn't get too extreme. But calling us out, I think, is always fair.
Yeah, no, absolutely, always. But we will still make you sound like a nerd on broadcast.
Absolutely.
Sleepy with a big opportunity, open goal, connects that one. No open goal whiffs, at least in this series so far. There's been a couple of angles which might have been able to go in, but I think that the shots have been accurate when they've had the chances.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So far, it's just been a very clean game in my eyes, coming from our team in orange. Of course, that being Griffith. They just seem in control right now, and I imagine if this continues, it could be a strong Game 1 performance. Monash, though, we'll see what they have in store. I'd like to see them on attack a little bit more before I get a complete read on this team. Unfortunately, because of the consistency of Griffith, Monash has been on that back foot for a considerable portion of this game. Double commit, though, could open something up, and it's an errant pass. A little bit too over-eager, Monash. They couldn't quite get that ball down into the waiting arms of Coolman, and that's actually going to cost them, I think, their last scoring opportunity.
Yeah, and Shiro with a great job to get past all of the players. They didn't quite index on rotating back from the side of Monash. Juicy does have a bit of break and gets a pass off, but it was a very slow tempo pass, a little bit awkward. Kind of puts it almost on their back foot, so to speak. And that doesn't really help out there. Good block by JHF, but again, like you said, they kind of have to go for an attacking opportunity. With 20 seconds left, it's not looking like they'll have a huge double more. Almost an own goal there, and Shiro's just going to put it off a rebound.
Yeah, open net after the double commit on defense. Shiro just needs to knock that one straight. Grand scheme of things, this goal doesn't mean too much, but it is just kind of more evidence to Griffith's case that they're probably the stronger team in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you on that one. I mean, the scoreline says it.
Oh, hold on. You know what? I'm gonna say something that Juicy might actually like. I'm gonna. Juicy doesn't have the ugliest car. I was incorrect. Coolman does.
Ooh, no. Okay. Which one's Coolman's car? Is it? I'm assuming this is going to be a bit.
I kind of look Space Station Gaming right before the LAN where OCE is going to kind of rock everyone. Come on, man, represent your region.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I was waiting for. They're just trying to play the villain in this story, right?
They apparently
we learned
are.
from Smash Bros that every story, every esport needs a villain. You know,
Leffen.
Melee has Leffen.
Yep.
We've apparently got all of Monash. Not all of Monash. JHF, you're great.
Yeah, JHF is doing the good work right there.
JHF is gonna switch to the to like a really ugly Merc or something.
Yeah, watch. We give JHF compliments and then they're gonna turn. All right, it's gonna be Dean Ambrose smacking Roman Reigns in the back with the chair. Oh, you know what it is, actually? We're going to find out that JHF is playing with one of those Sonic the Hedgehog Xbox controllers that you linked.
So glad you brought that up. There is a blue one, which you could use to play on the blue side of the field. There isn't, like, there's not, the other one's red, so it doesn't quite fit, but, you know.
It's pain. Sleepy, quick kickoff goal, picking right up where Griffith left off before. 1-0 lead for the team in orange. But if you don't know what we're talking about, I just discovered this recently, Fetch. Maybe you're better at describing them.
It's so Xbox have a promotion for you know, Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously a big IP at the moment, and the controllers are indescribable. They are like a cosmic horror entity, and you need to look them up for yourselves. I promise you, it was worth your while.
What if Furby was an Xbox controller?
No, okay, you did it. You did it justice. Although to be fair, Furbies are kind of eldritch horrors anyway, so like, yeah.
That's why it fits, right?
Yeah, it does. Also, very, very close attempt there from Monash. It does just come off that crossbar. We're seeing a little bit more of that. We are seeing a little bit more of their attack here. Hopefully, they are able to lift in this game. Sorry to kind of cut off what was probably the most important thing we've talked about in the broadcast as well, but I do like how Monash is looking a little bit more lively in this game. Yeah,
they are starting to swing back. What is it about teams that start off slow that just get these massive second wins? It's going to be a second showing once again today. Coolman, if they could stay with the ball, had a shooting opportunity. They're actually going to recover and turn it into one. Great turnaround from Coolman to tie up this game.
Yeah, Coolman with really good awareness to sort of figure out the play exactly. I mean, Sleepy maybe could have got a touch on that one, could have got a tire to redirect it, but at the end of the day, Coolman with a really, really good kind of opportunity. And I feel like that kind of came off the last attack as well. You know, it was kind of like the defenders hadn't really been challenged that much from the side of Griffith. Great passing play to go straight into the net very quickly as well.
So, I mean, that was just a fantastic kickoff pass and then shot from Sleepy straight down the center. Griffith again in the lead. But to go back to Coolman's recovery, and this is the last I'm going to make a car joke, but the fact that they got off of the horrible Space Station Gaming represent OCE and, you know, started to dress up nice, got the suit and tie going, immediate improvement in gameplay. That's all I'm saying.
I believe it. I think that's the analysis which we get you for formal. I think that's great.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm not a coach.
Yeah. Can you imagine? It might just be the industry secrets. You know, people want to keep them in the bag. They don't want to give you access.
Yeah,
to
I'm just
that.
a loose can. I'm firing hot takes, hot
Exactly,
shots.
You're the rogue who.
I'm the Skip
reveals-
Bayless of Rocket League.
Big opportunity, great angle coming in from
Oh.
Juicy straight out of the sky. See, they're doing it with an ugly cast somehow, and that just speaks to talent, I guess. But yeah, look at this angle off the side, that
Oof.
subtle redirection straight past extremely washed in defense, and that ties up the game as well. I really feel like Griffith has played even better in this game, and it still feels like Monash is kind of able to find those attacking plays. Maybe Griffith hasn't looked quite as good in the attack, but I still think they've stepped up in a few of these plays, especially that great passing play we saw just before. But yeah, Monash having an answer and having
Reset.
that equal ability to set the attacks.
Oh, almost the reset into the dunk, but it's going to be enough attacking pressure regardless of put it in. Extremely washed up, making it 3-2.
Yeah, it was a very nice play, and it does bait out it does bait out the full triple commit, and extremely washed is just in the perfect position to answer that one. Second triple commit.
It wasn't
when
as
Murdoch player gets a punch on
synchronized.
It wasn't as synchronized, and it was a little bit more like, they'd kind of gotten themselves out of position, and not a quick kickoff goal from the orange side of Griffith in general.
Oh, that was awkward. Good speed flip from Shiro right there, though. But yeah, that speed flip just outpacing the side of Monash to make it 4-2. It's nice to see a proper speed flip and not the people in my rank who just do like side flips and say they're speed flips.
Oh no. I am doubting everything I know about Rocket League now because I didn't realize you could really mess those up. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, Sleepy actually gets a demo as well. Now there's a 3v2 in his goal. I mean, the players are going to be able to respawn, but Griffith back to controlling that attack like they did before. Sleepy just playing demo at the moment. Gets a couple more, but just Shiro isn't able to put the ball in quite the right position.
No, not quite on this attack. Perhaps we're going to see something a bit more now. Extremely washed, throwing it more towards the middle of the pitch. Shiro actually looks for Sleepy. They do connect, but it's a bit too wide. Or is it all a setup? Shiro doesn't get the insane angle. That's going to be enough for this attack for now. Yet, hesitation again from the Monash side to find the clear, and they get punished immediately. 5-2 lead now for Griffith.
Yeah, I mean, they have kind of stepped themselves back up into this game. They're just able to put the players in the right position. I really feel like I want to compliment Griffith's base and positioning so far. I mean, not only are they able to have the, coordination and communication to be able to find these passes, but they also are in prime kind of attacking positions. And there's actually a turnabout spare play type kickoff goal from the side of Monash. They're able to find the speed, well, not the speed, but the coverage on that one to put that one across the goal. But yeah, Griffith, their positioning on the field, their ability to find those passes, really, really good stuff, and it might be what helps them edge out this game as we get into the last couple of minutes.
I have to agree with you right now. Only 2 minutes remaining in this one. Juicy loses out on that challenge to Sleepy. Ball bounces across the middle of the pitch where Shiro will collect. There's still a fair bit of time with the frequency of the goals, though, in this game, and Monash, they really need to keep that foot on the gas pedal. I feel like every time they hesitate, they get punished. I don't want to say this is case in point again, but I need to see that replay because the demo, I do think, threw him off. But yeah, you can see Juicy doesn't challenge the ball. JHF had to come in quite late. I don't know. I feel like just there's a little bit of a lack in tempo right now that's really holding Monash back.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I agree that there's plenty of time for come back. It just doesn't seem like they're doing the things to do that. 3 players all go to the kickoff, and Sleepy's just able to put it away once the ball kind of bounces up high, and that's a definite mistake from the side of Monash.
Yeah, as we watch this one again, Sleepy's the one who puts it through, and now 7-3. Griffith, I think, have this game under lock and key.
Yeah, it is kind of feeling that way. I mean, like you said, there's plenty of time, but Griffith sort of. I think it's really difficult when you're playing as Monash in this game because, of course, you in that first game you really struggled. In this game, you stepped back up, you made adaptations, but it still wasn't quite enough. So, kind of where do you go from here? Like, of course they can still do it. Of course they still have maybe they tighten up their rotations, maybe they try and shift their focus a little bit between the games. If they've got a team captain who can step up and give them that kind of pep talk, it's still possible. But it does feel like after you've made what feels like a massive adaptation and still getting beaten out, it doesn't feel like there's many places to go into that last game. But there's still, there's still hope. There's still a chance for them, even if this game doesn't go their way, which is looking like it probably won't.
Yeah, it's just getting worse. It looks like before it gets better right now. 8-3 advantage, and So this is why I like seeing the chat, right? Because you can see when a team's mental is starting to kind of break down, the what is saving their own side as the score continues to pile up. I'm worried about Monash right now. They're kind of losing control of this game, of this series, and it's not going to be looking good going into that third game.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And again, maybe like a good pep talk or something get them, but with the way goals are coming in thick and fast from the side of Griffith, yeah, I really don't see it being a great chance of them making a comeback, especially in this game. And like again, because the way Rocket League works, every time there's a goal, the whole play resets, everything slows down. There's time for a replay. We have all of that, and it means that you just have to sit with that loss for longer and longer. The more the goals start racking up, the more you just have to sit there and be like, all right, guys, let's go next. And that feels really, really bad, and that makes it extra hard to pull the mental back.
As we do see more pressure become up. 30 seconds left in this game. Prepping ourselves for game number 3 in this series. And why not go double digits? Extremely washed up. Goes ahead and makes it 10-3.
We did break our scoring record so far for the season across AEL cast, by the way. It went to 20. This game isn't going to go that far. But yeah, I think we did have a 20-0 game, and that was a bit brutal.
Well, this is going to be the record for the university of the season thus far. We're setting the benchmark quite high, 10-3. Do we see 11 balls in front of the net? There's no defenders there, but they do get there in time.
Yeah, and I mean, still, like, how close did this game feel less than 2 minutes ago? How much did it feel like, Monash just have to do a couple of things to get this. JHF might be able to get something for breakaway. I don't think he had much in the way of boost to work with, nor teammates. And that 1v1 was a little bit difficult. Sleepy going to possibly close this one out with a goal for themselves. Nope, Shiro's going to take it, and it goes high. Griffith are the ones to take the second game as well. And boy, do they have momentum coming to this potential last game of the series.
That last goal would have been the best of the series thus far. Probably the best of the day had they been able to connect so close. That would have been a nice sort of highlight to end this on. Look. Pretty good game for Griffith. You can't really take that win away from them, obviously, when they kind of dominate 10-3. But I'm looking at Shiro, and I'm like, boy, you only got 1 goal. Your teammates got 3 and 6. Step it up, buddy, or you might be letting the team down.
It could be. I mean, hey, got some assists. That's what really matters. That's the heart of the team. Oh, it's the duck map. I didn't realize this was even on standard rotation. Yeah,
I don't know why this one is on standard rotation. Why would you subject poor Monash to this map? I mean, they've already suffered enough, and now they have to play here.
Maybe they're just really, really big into like the whole 80s synth, kind of energy. Oh, here we are. Coolman stepped up the game so much, going to the Scarab. This is just this is peak gameplay. They can't lose here. This is the comeback.
I mean, you say that, and you know what? I want to believe too. We'll watch Coolman's POV for a little bit right now as they wait for that ball to come to the corner. Oh, listen to that engine sound. They even have like one of those troll engines. It's not as good as the cat, but it's still pretty bad. I love it. Coolman is a player after my heart.
Yeah, you know what? That's a fair statement. They've won something today, no matter how this game goes. I like the tires as well. Most people go with the wagon wheels. The wagon wheels look alright, but they've gone a bit more like it's kind of the Batman of Scarabs.
The Batman of Scarabs.
The Batmobile, the Batman.
No, I like that. I want to stick with the Batman of Scarabs. Cool. That is. Oh god. Spicy cough. Shiro gonna try to connect across the Sleepy. Don't quite make contact there. That's okay though. Still plenty of time left in this game as it looks like the defense on Monash bumping into each other. Very, very slow clear up the side. And there is the dunk. There is the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's it. And might have been because of accident we saw happening off on there on that side of the field. But, no matter what, that is the 1-goal lead right at the moment. To be fair, Griffith hasn't had that same scoring tempo just yet. They haven't quite built to that. But it's fine. Also, this is the real reason we're on this map, by the way, to give you the backstory for it. Not that I totally just made this up then. As Shiro goes for another one, goes off the side, and extremely washed, accidentally gets a really awkward sort of clearing touch into the corner. They have another opportunity here. Extremely washed is going to go for it, and 2 players whiff, and it's up to Juicy to make the full clear on this one.
Yeah, I want to know the real story why we're here. Why are we subjecting ourselves to this?
It's because the players joined the teams before we said we were ready and before the broadcast.
True. Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. I no longer feel any empathy for anyone playing this game. We should have forced all the games to be here, actually.
That's true. That would have required a remake, though. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
That's fair. But next time, yeah, let this be a lesson to all of you. All right, you know, if you want to play on good stadiums, follow instructions. If you want to play where you can't see the ceiling and you can barely see the ground, and there's probably terrible rave music happening in the background. Sorry, hardstyle fans, your music is repetitive and annoying. Then you know, follow directions. 2-0 lead, by the way.
Yep. And that was, it was a bit of an awkward sort of sequence of plays there. And wait, that was an own goal. I thought Shiro got a tiny touch at the end. There it is. There's our own goal for the stream. All right, cool.
There it is, done.
Out of the road, tick box. But yeah, it does kind of put Griffith at the moment to the 2-0 lead. Yeah, it seems like Monash is going to struggle a little bit with this. That's actually, there it is, the buggy diff. The Scarab Gap coming in clutch, putting this one back to 1 goal.
What's Batman's signature move?
I've played enough Injustice that I should know this off the top of my head.
I'm sure it has some cool name. Either way, I think Coolman just pulled it off right there. 2-1. Sid cuts the deficit in half. You know, it's a pretty good goal collected by Coolman. We'll see if they're going to be able to find any more from it. Shot from the corner. What a pass. What a shot. What a goal. Extremely washed is anything but.
Yeah, that's exactly it. A really good setup for this team. It's just what they've sort of seemed to be doing the last few series all together. Fantastic effort, really, from them. And I think this is sort of, you know, we've seen them get tested as well, I think is the other thing. You know, it's easy to sort of be like, this team looks incredible when they're stomping someone. But, you know, it's like Monash did step up and test them a little bit in that second game. Griffith weren't just getting away with the game easily, and they still managed to pull out that 3-10 scoreline. So I think this is a pretty good omens for Griffith coming through to the rest of this of the season, which, you know, might be, it's going to be a pretty big season. It might not necessarily be any longer than the other one. Massive with the number of teams we have, and so small, like, you know, really putting yourself in good stead early is going to feel very, very nice for you.
As we see Juicy trying to find the shot, but doesn't quite put it in. Under 2 minutes remaining. It's looking like it's going to be the 3-0 for the Griffith side. Still early days. It's still only round 1, week 1, first games in what should be an amazing season. But I do feel like it kind of was touched upon from our team in blue, our good Monash side. There was a skill discrepancy, and I don't even want to say skill. I want to say an experience discrepancy when you have essentially champs going up against diamond-level players. And I find it hard to believe, actually, that Coolman is diamond. I feel like Coolman is probably a higher rank. Either way, you get this sometimes, and unfortunately for the side of Monash, their campaign's going to start on an awkward foot, but they're going to have plenty of time to come back in this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they made it to finals, I wouldn't be like, what? Monash made it to finals? You know, it'd be like, oh, cool, good for them. You know, I think they could make it. I think it's not an outside chance, especially if they do put the work in playing together, and sort of some of the awkward collisions and things like that don't quite happen. Because I wouldn't be surprised either if Griffith has already spent quite a bit of time, all 3 of these players playing together, with just how on the ball they all kind of are with these passing plays and things. And yeah, like you said, that is sometimes just experience. That is sometimes just playing the game in general. But it also can come down to team experience.
What?
That was awkward.
The triple commit in front of the net, and the ball somehow doesn't go in. Eventually, Washed Up does put it through, but I don't know about that one, Fetch. I feel like that was awkward.
Yep. I mean, I think you're right. That's all it was. But it's not like they haven't shown us how good they are elsewhere. You know, it's not like it has been like, oh, that was a really questionable play. Well, amongst a bunch of really other questionable plays, like Griffith know what they're doing. They're having a bit of fun now. I feel like we're having a bit of fun, not no like freestyle, just do whatever you want kind of style. But oh, that was unfortunate. This game has just gone to hell.
Oh my goodness. I love how the camera gave us a nice overhead shot as all 3 members of Monash just drove right past the ball. 10 seconds remaining. Griffith's going to start off their campaign with that 3-0 win. Look, is this team a tournament favorite? I'm not going to go that far yet. I'd like to see them against some of the other tougher teams in this league, but for now, a 5-1 goal at the end. They're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. Great start of the season for Griffith.
Yeah, really, really good start. And again, like we need to see them push just that much more. I think that's the big thing. that, like, Monash contested them and they came back and really, really showed some dominance. But I do agree. There's stuff to show us what else they've got in terms of competing against the absolute top players in the league. But yeah, pretty good start. Definitely wouldn't feel wouldn't feel bad about that from the side of Griffith. But I believe we'll have one more series after a quick break for.
Yeah, that we will. Just to get more into it, that last series of the day is going to be all the way back in Group A, University of New South Wales Maccas run. The team that I always, when talking to my European friends, who always like, trust me, OCE Uni Leagues, we know how to name our teams. We literally have the Maccas run, and that's all I'm saying. So I'm going to be excited to see them go, and they're going to be taking on against the Murdoch Black. So do stay with us. More Rocket League when we return. welcome back, everybody. It's been, you know what, it's been a fun night, I think, for everyone else. It might feel a little long for me. Again, apologies for, perhaps the monotone voice and the coughing every now and then. But, we're doing what we can. I couldn't miss day one. You couldn't force me to, so my joy comes at your expense, especially you, Fetch. Coming into this last matchup, though, New South Wales taking on Murdoch, the Maccas run, one of the most favorited teams, I feel like, in the AEL competition, taking on Murdoch Black.
It's hard. It's really hard to hate Maccas run. I'm not gonna lie. And UNSW do a good job of coming up with team names in general. So, credit to them. But we'll have to see if they can actually put their season off to a good start, because they sometimes fall short a little bit of that sort of final placement. So, let's see what they've got this year. I'm sure we'll be jumping into the game very, very soon of getting the ping for the players to go. And I don't know about you, but I'm very ready to see how these players all match up.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, the word has been given for the players to jump in. I'm going to say it again. Maybe they'll listen the second time. But yeah, there they go. I can hear them jumping in now. So we will head to the pitch ourselves. For the Maccas run side, you have Mohammed, Scanoa, as well as Anatar. For the side of Murdoch Black, it is Ice, it is Frio, and it is a bunch of gibberish that I'm not even going to bother trying.
I'm going to go with Ian, because there's a 1 A-N there somewhere. So that's Ian. There
All right, it's
Ian. For the
Ian.
sake of ease of broadcast, Ian.
Yep. Go get him, Ian. That is one of the worst names I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's up there. We had the Battles of the Bad Cars last series. We got a bad name. I was like, oh, no, we've got a fantastic car in here. We have an S-tier choice. That's the breakout. It's fantastic. Best car. I expect it to pop off super hard in this game. I can't even remember who had it now. I just saw
all these cars are nice right now. I'm enjoying the feast on the eyes, as it's going to be our first shot coming from the New South Wales side. Doesn't quite hit the net. Still a bit of time to go, as Anatar is going to try to clear from the middle of the field. Ball gets to the backboard to look underneath. And demo attempt as well. New South Wales following through on their shots. I'm loving this blue side attack. Yeah,
it's looking pretty good at the moment. I mean, there's, I think one or two slight slip-ups, but they have really been able to establish the attack really, really well and get to that ball quite quickly. Of course, do get dispossessed by Ian just quickly. Muhammad Ali there to kind of keep the play going. Snawa gets a demo, and now they're just keeping this momentum going, trying to rotate through. They will have to rotate quickly back to defense. No, it's fine. Snawa managed to take that one out of the midfield. Ball goes up high. Who's going to be able to get that one? It's Muhammad Ali. The Batmobile comes off the top and just goes in.
What's the phrase, fly like a bird, sting like a bee? Whatever it was. I mean, we saw the flight right there. Wasn't the biggest sting, but it was enough to do damage. 1-0 lead for the Maccas run.
I believe it's float like a butterfly.
Float like a butterfly, that's
I'm going to be that guy who wrecks people.
You know what? No, correct me, please, because I got that so horribly wrong. It's embarrassing. I went there not knowing the quote.
Yeah, but you gotta put yourself out there. But you know what? I'm gonna try and quote the greatest.
True.
It's kind of weird. I expected that to be able to go somewhere, but no, he just said I am the greatest. There was no other part to that.
No,
but right at the moment, it's actually
was he wrong?
A bit of a flip. No, I don't think so. Murdoch is back on the attack here. A little bit of an awkward spot for Ian to be in, but they were kind of showing signs of aggression. Good dispossessed by Ice, managed to go off to Ian. That 1-2 pass was really lovely. It's in front of the goals. Frio, can you do it? But no, it just goes a little bit wide.
Muhammad Ali was the best, I'm pretty sure, right? I don't know my box. You're the boxing expert between the two of us.
Oh dear. I think I think Muhammad Ali is pretty class, and he did say I am the greatest. So that's I believe him. I think he's even more of an expert than either of us are. So I think we trust him.
True. I think we do trust Muhammad Ali right now. Ice though is the one with possession of the ball. We'll take it to the corner. Doesn't have anywhere to go with it, so takes it back down instead, slowly bouncing towards the net. We're going to see that ball fall right in front of the goal, but Ian unable to tap that one through. Still halfway through our opening game, only a 1-0 lead. Maccas run. They're trying to sniff out that second goal, but we've seen a lot more offensive pressure actually coming from the Murdoch side.
Yeah, and that's really good. That was something they were missing a little bit in the first sort of sequence of play, not waiting until the third game to adapt, which is a step up from other university. Not gonna flame. But this is a bit of an awkward touch on the defense though, and there it is. That's gonna give Monash the connection, and yeah, that was like an awkward touch into a knock onto the ally. That was just a really, really awkward sequence of plays, and it means that Ian can just slide that one in for free.
Yeah, you know what? You take those right now if you're on that Murdoch side, and I feel like with the attacks that they were putting through, that one was a little bit due right now. I haven't seen too much pressure coming from the Maccas run across that middle of the pitch right now. It's, for the most part, been going in Murdoch's favor, and even when it looks like right there that New South Wales might be able to connect on something across the center, it actually led to a bit of an unforced error. So middle of the pitch, perhaps an Achilles heel from our team in blue, as Ice has so much space, so much time, but cannot control the ball.
Yeah, and had possibly some passing opportunities as well, but like you
Oh
said,
no, now it goes the other way.
Oh, Ian just gets to it though, but it's still an awkward situation. Antar didn't quite manage to win that 1v1 the way they might have liked. Still, the ball back in the possession of UNSW. We have been going tip-tat a little bit so far in this series, or in this first game. But it does seem like Murdoch are the ones who are going to be able to wrest control of it just for now.
Yeah, as we watch, I believe that's Skanawa try to take it across the middle of the field. Will be shut down by Ice. Eventually, though, a touch does go through into the box. A minute remaining. Anatar can't quite put that one in the goal. This is looking like it's shaping up, though, to be our closest series yet. Both these teams do feel quite evenly matched. It's just been little unforced errors or positional missteps that's been the difference thus far.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Ice wasn't able to connect to that one, but it could have been a good opening for aggressive pressure. But Schnawa had room to play a little bit, but wasn't able to build up enough momentum to sort of keep their possession of the ball. Ice, once again, in control, puts it up really nicely. It waterfalls down right in front of the goal. Ian just loses that 50 to Muhammad Ali, and that was a couple of really important missed touches from the side of UNSW. Wait, no, sorry, from the side of Murdoch. And USW could have an opportunity to keep the pressure on right now, but they need to keep control of the ball. Ice still pushed up very far into their attacking half, and again, if they can find those passing connections, they can pick up the momentum just a little bit. Ian in control of this one, puts it up to Ice. The defense is just able to make disruptions.
Yeah, that was a pretty clutch moment right now. 8 seconds still remaining as Ian is going to have to try to play from the middle of the field. It's a swing and a miss. Muhammad Ali trying to put this one away in regulation. Ice keeps it up. I'm not sure that's the right play, but then spikes it down, so nice recovery. And game 1 overtime, once again, just like in series number 1.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we've actually had some close series as well, because it sometimes does go a little while when these before you get these sort of close matches. Schnawa trying to put this one away pretty quickly. Ice, again, another missed touch, but no one really there to capitalize on it. Anatar trying to use this badass of a car to keep the play out of their opponent's hands, but wasn't quite able to, but it's fine because Muhammad Ali almost had the shot of the century there. But again, no one quite able to pick up the rebound.
And that's
okay.
that's it. Anatar puts it in, and yeah, I could hear it in your voice there, Fetch. Kind of caught you off guard. It kind of caught me off guard as well. 2 defenders there, but neither make the save, and that's going to be a 2-1 lead and, well, a 1-0 victory. Just kind of flip that the other way around for Maccas run as they're going to go ahead and go up in this series.
Yeah, and what can I say? What can I say
One
except for
shot by Murdoch.
Ooh.
I feel like that's not accurate.
Yeah, neither. I mean, they did get the ball up a few times and fumble it. Like, that was something which was happening. So it's like, maybe those weren't counting as shots. I don't know. That feels weird, because there was definitely some close, tight angle shots, which just maybe weren't counted there.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes they read shots, sometimes they don't. But yeah, one recorded shot from Murdoch, that's not going to cut it. I don't care how strong of a team you are. That's not a good look for a game number 1.
Okay, but to flip that stat, 0 saves for the side of UNSW.
Yeah, okay. Got me on that technicality there, but very, very true. I mean, you do need to, there needs to be shots for there to be saves, Fetch.
Yeah, but if you're a good team, you engineer saves, you act opportunistically and proactively produce saves.
You know what this is going down to? The reason why this argument's annoying, like the Green Bay Packer fan in me? Because everyone always goes, oh, Aaron Rodgers has so little fourth quarter comebacks. Like, why doesn't he come back with more? Because we're winning in the fourth quarter. You don't need to come back, all right? Like, come on.
Nah, dude, you need to, like, okay, fine. As a Ravens fan, if you're not behind in the third quarter, you ain't winning that game.
You know what? As a Ravens fan, I'm just holding on to my kicker and
yeah,
loving them deeply.
I've focused on other games in the off season, and whatever happens, happens. All right, I'm just like, it's fine. Something will happen. It's fine.
No, I like the Ravens. They're a fine team. I have nothing against them.
Yeah, I'm just worried about there's going to be some hilarious off-season changes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, both the Browns and the Steelers are imploding, right? So all you have to do is handle the Bengals, who, well, I mean, good luck with that. But, hey, still 3:45 remaining in this one. No goal to be scored yet. I don't know. This has been a very back-and-forth game. Neither team, when they're on the attack, has really tried to press the issue. Pushing tab, you can see only 3 shots taken in the first minute and a half.
Yeah, and that was 2 of them were by Murdoch, so congrats there. But yeah, that is a bit of a slower sort of pace. Well, slower pace. It's sort of slow on the attack specifically. It feels like they're able to get quickly onto the defense. Bit of a double commit just as I say that. Anatar now trying to put it off the backboard. Is it? Because it kind of feels to me, and you feel free to disagree with me, but it feels like they're kind of waiting for a perfect setup instead of just going for the strikes. We've seen times where you go for like a big strike and it just goes in. But it feels like this team are like, wait, no, we've got to get the perfect setup. We've got to make sure everything's perfectly neat. That was a bit more of an aggressive attempt there from the side of UNSW, but didn't come to too much. A bit of a scramble in the midfield.
I kind of get what you're saying. I think I need to watch a little bit more, though, to see if I completely agree with that or not, because I don't know if it's a case of, like, the opportunities are there, but they're not taking it, or if that just straight up they're, not actually there to begin with, although that opportunity was there. I think we all saw that after that awkward defensive touch out of Ice. Immediate capitalization. Great goal from Anatar, and it's a 1-0 lead.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to repeat the point again. Only a breakout could have made that shot.
Okay, fair.
But the awkward double commit helps. You're right. There was some defensive mishaps there, but I think
that looked like the exact same goal as well that ended game number 1 in overtime.
A little bit. I didn't think there was quite as much of a sort of mispositioned defense, but I might have been misremembering. That said, big opportunity there for Ice just to ping it in from the midfield. Feels like the floodgates kind of open now. Maybe we're going to see a lot more of those aggressive opportunities now that the scoring has kind of started.
I mean, that one I actually want to give credit. I think it was Ian who went for that first challenge right there and actually caused the defense to bite, which sort of opened it up before. So that was actually a very nice team play coming from the Murdoch side to tie up this game. Muhammad Ali now going to try to follow it through to the corner. The net's open, but they don't get to the ball inside. That said, the defense misses, and Anatar gets there too little too late. Frio with that last-second diving save.
Yeah, and a good sort of demo in the middle field to make sure they can wrest control back to the side of UNSW, but they're still fighting. Ice doing a really good job of sort of felt like 1v2ing there for a little while. Anatar puts them off the backboard once again. Schnawa not quite in position. Was going to go back to UNSW defense, still 1-1 at the moment with 2 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, it's sort of set up right now for Murdoch, but they're not quite going for capitalization, sort of running on the ball and seeing if they can find some sort of setup. I do agree with what you were saying that they were engineering circumstances a bit more as the game went on. Schnawa completely whiffs. Muhammad Ali does get a good touch into that one, but did leave, the defense has had to scramble just a little bit from that play. Ice puts it up, water falls down. Might have been over the top of the defenders, but does come up.
Yeah, it was a little bit too high. Muhammad Ali as well there to kind of pick it up. Skanawa, it's a weaker touch, though, and Ice gets a demo, so those are the only 2 members on the blue side in that side pocket, but they're able to get it to the orange side of the pitch nonetheless. A minute 10 remaining. Still a 1-1 game. Muhammad Ali keeping the pressure. There's the demo, but Frio left standing makes the save.
Yeah, and it is kind of playing tight around this corner, making sure to keep it away. It feels like that's something Murdoch has done well. They've played the game quite nicely, but they are once again falling behind in shots. 4-6 right at the moment. So if they want to win it and they don't just want to have it go to overtime once again, they really, I feel like, have to kind of try and put that pressure back on. Right at the moment, UNSW on the attack there. Muhammad Ali is going to ping it down, but doesn't quite waterfall perfectly. As Frio does get some sort of a small connection. There's a demo, it's 2v3, but again, just no attacking pressure quite at the right time from UNSW.
Ooh, swing and a miss from Muhammad Ali. Skanawa goes for the challenge, loses out. Anatar as well misses the ball. It's the case of the Whiffles striking at a very pivotal moment. Ice, though, does get the pass across the center. No one underneath to find the immediate shot, so instead it'll be Ian trying to play through that corner, leads it back to Frio, who gets caught up in defensive traffic. 10 seconds remaining. Last chance to end this in regulation. If someone's going to take it, it's going to be Anatar. They've ended it in overtime once before, but they don't get the bump this time around. Timer hits 0, and we should have another overtime.
Yeah, there it is. So big overtime gameplay in this series, but I'm interested to see if it does go a different way in this time. Anatar trying to make sure that doesn't happen, almost going for the kickoff goal right away. The ball stalls in front of the goal for a second. The defense is a little bit awkward. They've had enough time to reform as Frio just pings it down the wing. And right at the moment, it's a really, really good high-speed attack coming through. Schnawa does just get to it, but if this attack kind of keeps up and they keep the momentum up, which isn't going to happen, but that might be the secret in terms of cleaning out this overtime in your favor, is keep that attacking pressure up and don't sort of let up after one play doesn't work.
Yeah, well, see if that happens. I mean, this has just been a low-shot game thus far because both teams have been doing a good job defensively. Ice almost just dibbles it right into their own net right there, and I'm going to trademark that phrase just like Skinawa almost trademarked that goal. A little bit too tough of an angle right there. The shot was too tight.
Yeah, and Anatar, a little bit awkward on the mechanics there as Schnawa's going to flick it over the players. There's not really anyone in goal. Schnawa can make the magic happen, but it doesn't. It doesn't happen, and Frio is the one who tries to clear it out, but it's now going to be dropped down right in front of goal once again, but there isn't a player there. Well, there is. It's Ian. Goal not open. It's fine. Schnawa's there. It's all good. It's fine. Schnawa's done a really good job of making those quick rotations back, I feel like.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, just in general, I feel like Maccas Run has been a little bit of a faster team across the board. And, well, again, Skinawa's going to have to try to make that save. Does enough to get Muhammad Ali to be able to rotate around. Attacking pressure, though, coming from the Murdoch side. They might be able to find something here, but they don't quite yet. Minute and a half into this overtime, still no goal scored. And that is not how it ends. The shot from Skinawa comes off the post.
But again, it looks like UNSW is in a really good opportunity. Ian trying to desperately get that clear out to Ice, but it doesn't work out. Anatar on the attacking pressure. Where's that extra player? Schnawa tries to be the one to do it, but the defense has been holding on too well. 2-minute overtime at this point. This has gone on for quite a while. We're back to the first part of that game where it was very, very slow scoring indeed. Muhammad Ali goes up for a big clear, tries to keep it in the center of the field, but it just doesn't work out for them too well. As Ice is now on a very good trajectory to kind of make this open defense. Yeah,
let's see what Frio's going to be able to do off the backboard. Someone underneath, swing and a miss. Not one, but two misses, actually. Let's see what Anatar can do. Goes 50-50 across the middle of the pitch. Ball through the corner. Muhammad's there. Shot, goal. 2-0 lead for Maccas Run.
And it went to overtime twice in this situation. So, you know, Maccas Run showing they have that extra little bit of composure, but when the individual games are this close, you got to think there's always going to be that comeback potential, but the fact that it is just stacking up against the side of my brain's just going with wait for the screen to come up. Murdoch, there we are. As it stacks up against the side of Murdoch, it does feel more and more overwhelming. So it might be UNSW 3-0, but again, depending on how close this next game is, it could go either way, really. Are
you happy that the University of New South Wales has saves this game?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I'm also glad Murdoch have shot as well. They had shots on. They were saved. This is how Rocket League scoreline's supposed to go.
Well, I mean, they had shots on, yes, but all of them came from one player. So there still needs work that needs to be done from that Murdoch side as we're going to get ready to kick off game number 3. If Maccas Run wins this, they'll 3-0 on the day. The clean sweep. That's what they're looking for in the desert.
Yeah, that is it. And if there is a map where you can, you've got to keep your mental focus. You've got to really be on top of your mental game. Got to be this desert. Muhammad Ali puts it off the backboard really awkwardly, but actually Frio with a lovely little defensive touch. That said, the defense is a little bit scattered. Anatar going for the double touch next over to Schnawa instead. Ice gets the disruption, and that feels like it's a pretty comfortable spot for this Murdoch team to be defending from. They go for the shot, but they completely whiff, and I think that was an open goal for Frio.
It was kind of. I think there were defenders who were going to be there rotating around, so it wasn't the most open net. But, I mean, if you don't make the shot, we'll never know. So a little bit unfortunate start right there from the Murdoch side. And now this is very good for Maccas Run. Muhammad Ali with possession, with the boost, does get demoed. But Skinawa is there, and, oh, they didn't bang that one. They wanted to make sure the shot was accurate, and the result was it was too slow.
Yeah, I feel like they might have also expected some sort of jump or some sort of high play because they have been coming high angles pretty consistent. But it didn't get the best of that either way. Schnawa goes up high, tries to pass off to Muhammad Ali. A really good touch there, but a really good pass, I should say. The touch didn't quite go the way they wanted. Ice just staying as that defensive rock in the back line. But still, rotational play with Muhammad Ali going to kind of holding that back defensive line. But actually, it's going to be Murdoch another opportunity to try and get a goal. But they just not able to capitalize.
Let's see the pinch go from corner to corner. No one there to collect right away. Eventually, that's Anatar who gets their first pass back to Skinawa. Should be leading to the shot. Muhammad Ali with the chance. They're going to have to make it a double touch, and they do. Our first double of the season, and it's Muhammad Ali.
And the more times you go for a play like that, the more likely you come off, and it feels like UNSW has gone for it a bunch of times over this series. Sometimes been backboard connect, sometimes end up in backboard connections to their teammates, sometimes those have ended in goals, but eventually if you keep trying at it, if you keep throwing yourself at these kind of high mechanic backboard plays and things like that, eventually you're going to get it, and UNSW get rewarded very handsomely. And one goal in a low-scoring series is massive. Schnawa, lovely redirect, but no one there to pick it up again.
As we watch Anatar trying to get through that corner, not quite there. Mohammed now going to look to set things up. Again, a double touch, this time off the side wall. A great shot, a great goal, and it's the biggest lead that we've seen from Maccas run yet.
Yeah, and Muhammad Ali looks pretty nice in these plays off the backboard. They look really, really comfortable right here. You know, that wasn't the fastest play. It wasn't the most sort of like a cross-field big epic play, but it's like a sequence of double touches in a row feels really, really good. Again, 2-goal cushion, much better than that one sort of 1-goal situation. They might be able to take one in regulation if we don't see a big step up from Murdoch.
We'll see what they're going to be able to find as Ice actually sees that ball sail over their head. So Anatar will be looking to play it into the corner. Mohammed with the look, but doesn't quite take that shot. Skanawa now, again, going to try to play through the corner, but only goes so far with it. Still 2.5 minutes remaining in this game. Ice not in position to strike just yet. I don't know. I'm worried from a team that's been struggling to really get offensive pressure. Can they find 2 goals in half a game?
It's like, again, it's doable. You know, it's doable, but it's not likely. There was an opportunity almost there, but, you know, Tar just defense and Ice now. Yeah, it's like they've got such a good defensive backbone, it feels like. But when that starts getting exploited and pushed through, they need to adapt to the attack. Like we said, I just don't know if I trust them to be able to do that right now, especially because the ball went into their defensive corner and 2 players rotated back to goal immediately. Like that is how scared they were. Ice off the backboard, but it just doesn't quite come through.
Oh, that was so close to being a goal, but it's not quite there this time. Anatar actually tries to slow play it, but the defense is able to rotate back in time. Still 100 seconds remaining. This is just not going Murdoch's way right now. They've been unable to keep a sustained offensive attack now, getting desperate. You saw Ice in the background going for that bump, but doesn't actually stay deep, so they're not going to be there to collect this pass.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of it. It's like it feels like Murdoch are always looking for an opportunity to rotate back. That is like the thing they are always keeping their eye on. And I guess when you are down, you don't have any more goals, but if you are always looking for that back kind of defensive rotation, you're never going to get attacking play.
I love that breakout. That's a good breakout.
It's not bad.
I like that combo. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, what? Okay, yeah, that was bad on all fronts. Everyone should feel ashamed.
Yeah. I mean, Ian's fine.
Is Ian fine?
Whatever.
Ian didn't really touch that. That was an own goal.
Ian bounced it back.
Into the post.
Calculated. Yeah, look, I was trying to save it. Ian might go for
Oh my gosh.
There it is. Scores tied. We doubted them, but they are pulling straight back in.
See, now that was an earned goal right there. Muhammad Ali on the cheat just doesn't make contact with it, and that puts so much pressure on Skanawa, who can't step up in this situation. Ian with the goal, tie ball game, less than a minute remaining. You're right. I doubted this Murdoch side, but a little bit of chaos and a little bit of spice, you put it together, you got a tie game.
Yeah, you do. We might be destined for a third overtime, but again, you know, 48 seconds to play. Rocket League is a very quick game. We could see goal coming in still. Right at the moment, it's the back foot for Murdoch. Anatar wants to try and put this one up forward. Great defensive play by Ice. Good midfield defense, I should say.
Massive.
Ice. Yeah, and there's a demo on the back, so it's going to be a 2v3 for the next little while. Frio does teleport.
Lucky
does
respawn.
Right into the play. But it doesn't mean they've managed to pick up any sort of boost or momentum, really. Schnawa has a bit of an opportunity to make something happen. Muhammad Ali just picks it up from over the top, but it doesn't go in.
Anatar, though, has to get this next touch. Does, and it's not quite on target. That could have been the game ender. Instead, with 12 seconds remaining, we're inching closer to our third overtime in a row. Murdoch with the 2-goal comeback may have been able to put this together. They have to make one more save, though, because here comes the Maccas run. They want that double quarter pounder meal, but they're going to have to wait a little longer.
Instead, they have a triple overtime burger, and, you know, they win these, though. That's the thing. They've won these so far 2 in a row, but Murdoch did look really good in those last couple of minutes of play.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting overtime. Ice might actually have just ended it there. We're going to game 4, Fetch.
That was, okay, we just appreciate that was a bit of a weird game?
Yeah.
Just in general. Like,
Yeah.
now that we've got a chance to take a step back from it, that was a bit weird.
It was a very weird game. I don't.
boy.
And you know what? I mean, that's the comeback that Murdoch needed. Down 2-0, win it in overtime, 3-2 victory. They could even win this series doing that same thing, right? Make that full comeback happen. I think the big difference between Game 2 and Game 3, though, it's hard for me to say that Murdoch was the stronger team. I know they won, but New South Wales dominated, I'd say, for 4 out of the 5.5 minutes.
No, I agree with you on that. Like, that kind of still felt like it was UNSW's game. And that's what I'm kind of wondering about, what the start of this game looks like. We've taken it to the beach. This is more like what, this is more what I expect from, Wollongong. This is a very Wollongong map. That's I know it's not Wollongong. I know it's very much not. And, I think my game might have crashed for me.
Okay, well, I will. Yeah, you have left the party. Fair enough. I'll do some solo commentating until you get yourself back in, but, it is going to be our team on defense being Murdoch, as they're going to try to hold on. A lot of offensive pressure coming from Maccas front, actually. It feels like every time that ball gets near the net right now, there's a New South Wales member just throwing themselves at it. Eventually, the ball does fall back to the middle of the field, but only briefly. Anitar actually got bumped while pressing forward, and that's going to provide the space needed for Murdoch to start setting up their own attack, as they can only go so far with it. Eventually, Anitar will connect to Skanawa, who didn't quite put that shot accurate or with a lot of power. Swinging and miss from Anitar as well means Frio can press it up the corridor. Ball will get to the New South Wales backboard, but only for a brief moment. Now, Ian actually kind of put it in an awkward spot. Watch that ball sail over their head, and that gave New South Wales an opportunity to get on the attack. Ball's going to waterfall in front of the net. Awkward defensive first touch is bailed out by Frio, or is it? The shot comes through, but Ian was not able to, well, get a deep clear, but was able to get the save right now. Skanawa with the fall through, tries to find the waterfall. It's not there.
Yeah, they almost managed to hold on to that play for a little bit longer, but it is going to be dispossessed immediately by Murdoch. Bit of an awkward touch. It's almost going to waterfall the ball in the defense, but Ian does pick up that clearance out, tries to reset the attack. Muhammad Ali again going really aggressive just immediately and trying to push that play forward. I mean, it feels like they're kind of playing a bit more in the midfield. They missed a bit of that game, almost so close to being that opening goal there for the side of UNSW.
Yeah, still 3:15 left on the clock as we see Mohammed try to play it through the corner. Can only go so far with it. Time still tick-tocking away. 3:05 left. Skanawa doesn't stay with it as much as I would have liked to see. Anitar now actually gets bumped off the play as well. 3 minutes, still no goal scored. This has just been such a low-scoring series, despite New South Wales having so much more offensive pressure.
That feels like a little bit, what we're kind of going with the last couple of games. It's New South Wales really getting that advantage early in terms of being able to control the ball, especially in the attack. Oh, no, I did not think that was going through at all, but hey, Frio finds it from the midfield, so that's going to be their opening goal, but I really thought there was going to be someone able to get back for that one.
Yeah, Skanawa went for boost instead of ball and just wound up being a little bit too slow in getting there. Very awkward play, but it is what it is. And, well, what it is right now is a 1-0 lead for the team trying to make the series comeback.
Yeah, that's just it. Honestly, I think you're right. I mean, if they can hold on to this one, then there is still a very good chance. We didn't think after that second game that they'd really be able to sort of make a comeback like this, but they've shown up. They've shown what they can do. You establish, I guess, they had the solidity on defense. They just needed to find attacking opportunities. Double whiff kind of coming through there is a bit of a love tap between the two players. Muhammad Ali is going to try and play this one up to the corner. Didn't have the speed or the control. Sorry, didn't have the control on the ball or the passing opportunities. Anitar just gets smothered, and Ice might have a really big opportunity here if they can get the ball above the defenders.
Yeah, Ice was just a little bit too slow. The defense was able to respond, but that was still a fantastic interception. And those are the types of proactive plays that I want to see from the Murdoch side. Shot, post, not in the net.
Yeah, so close once again, and a breakaway from Anitar. They still have a couple of defenders to contend with. The ball goes up high, the passing play set up, but Muhammad Ali just gets caught off by Ice. The play is still going for the side of UNSW, but Baji in the back line there. Snawa, you're going to be the one to make the play. Not going to happen, and actually
that's
Anitar
a good shot.
Gets over the top, and it goes off the crossbar.
What a fantastic shot from Anitar right here as we watch this one again. Just able to put that one in the perfect spot, top crossbar and in. Fantastic stuff. Anitar has been a real striker, I feel like, for Maccas' run throughout this series, and that kind of placement is why. Yeah, 3:15 left on the clock. Can only go so far with it. Time still tick-tocking away. 3:05 left. Skanawa actually gets bumped off the play as well. 3:05 left. Anitar now actually gets bumped off the play. So that's going to be the opening goal. But only for a brief moment. Now, Ian actually kind of put that one in the
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I mean, at the moment, we're still, it's still close.
Oh.
Oh, Frio finds one very early and very nicely as well.
Yeah, that's a good response from Frio right there. A good little pass from Ian as well, waterfalling it right in the perfect spot. It's why I always say, you want some depth in your setups. You can't just drop it right in front of the net because it's always too easy for the defender to make a save. But if you can draw them out and ensure a way for your attacker to get there first, that's going to be your best chance to find goals, as we see right there.
Yeah, and that's, if they can keep finding that, that's good. Maybe a bit more, I feel like a bit more proactivity from both teams could be nice as well, but hey, if you're finding capitalizations and mistakes and things like that, then you're still going to be able to build a lead and essentially win the game. That's that fundamentally at this point is the most important thing. Starting off with a win to a series is very, very good indeed. There's Muhammad Ali goes up, tries to save that one. Sanitar's for the next one to try and touch it through. It's a good little ground pinch to get some speed on the ball, but there was still that one defender back. Even though the attacking play has come through a lot more from Murdoch, they haven't lost those defensive rotations.
No, they haven't, and those defensive rotations are what they're going to need right now. Only 30 seconds remaining from a Game 5, a chance for that reverse sweep. A chance to end a game in regulation, even something we haven't seen yet this series. Ball does go back to the New South Wales side, but here comes the attack, and Ice stole it away from Ian, who had the clean shot. So still miscommunication. That's attackers bumping into each other. The defense not in position to punish both of those misplays.
I feel like Muhammad Ali got nicked in that little kind of mess there as well, but with 8 seconds left on the clock, unless Muhammad Ali can make some magic happen right here, I think this is probably going to be the first game without an overtime.
Oh, wait. Oh!
The ball's actually still in play here, but it's getting guided down by Ice, and we have ourselves a 5-game series.
Muhammad Ali going for that dunk to take that game into overtime would have been one of the most fantastic goals I think I've seen in AEL. So close to pulling it off, but just not quite there. Still, though, game number 5 on the horizon. But one thing to take away, this was the first game in the series that Murdoch actually, I feel like, had a tempo advantage. They definitely had a shot advantage. They controlled that game, and that is a massive time to start to turn things around, because going into Game 5 where it's win and, well, you win it all, this is when you want to get hot. So let's see if they're going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, and I think I was a little disappointed from the side of UNSW in terms of some of those attacking plays and things like that, but nonetheless, fresh slate for this one game to decide it all. Anatar goes up high, but Ice should be able to get this one a little bit faster. Gets decent clearance out, but isn't able to hold the ball for much longer, so Snawa is going to be able to get the ball off the backboard. They've got the backboard really, really well, but they haven't been able to get much more of it to the side of UNSW. That was an awkward little jink, kind of caught out their teammates, so it means there's no more pressure in the attack, but it might go in anyway. No, it's not. Ice puts it in. That was an awkward misplay on defense.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Anatar misses up front, and then, yeah, that weird bounce off the sidebar just threw off the other defenders, and very fortunate right there that for Murdoch that they're able to capitalize on it. But even the first Murdoch attacker was thrown off. That bounce threw off 3 out of 6 players on the pitch right now. Very, very unusual turn of events.
Yeah, it kind of was, and I mean, yeah, it was a bit weird, definitely. Muhammad Ali going for a bit of a solo play there. Has a head-on collision with Frio, but the ball is still in the favor of UNSW as Snawa puts it in, not wanting their opponents to get any kind of a lead on this one if they can avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a swarm right there on the attack through that corner. Skanawa taking advantage of the defense, over committing to try and make the play through said corner, and that is a pretty nice lead right now. 1-1 at the moment. Still a lot of time left here in our first Game 5 of the season. I mean, this turnaround that we've seen from Murdoch, it has been impressive. Don't get me wrong. Ever since kind of, that final minute of game number 3, they have been feeling more in control. I don't know if I'm still confident enough that they can pull it off. Even though they're tied, and even though the momentum's been that orange way, it still feels like Maccas run have been the more, I want to say, confident team.
Yeah, that's an interesting statement to say, because I agree they've been confident, but it's just their ability to actually connect a lot of the plays hasn't quite been there. There's the demo, there's the goal from Muhammad Ali, much smoother than it had been in a few of the other attempts. Anatar there takes out one, and it's just a 1v1 at that point, which Muhammad Ali pretty good at. And that again, I guess kind of speaks to the exact point you made about confidence, and about the fact that Maccas run really do have that sort of confidence in spades, it feels like, but they don't always seem to have the timing and things like that. Like they'll make a passing play and the players won't quite be there yet, and I feel like that's kind of what's kind of causing the fall apart of that.
Yeah, so I'd say synergy issues, but I don't know. Like, it's interesting to me because I would say Anatar has been playing really well with the team. Skanawa, as a third member, has been really good. And I'm not trying to single out Muhammad Ali, but where the others have been kind of more team-oriented, Muhammad Ali definitely seems to be like that once player added to the mix who is super skilled mechanically but keeps going for solo plays sometimes when the team just isn't ready for it. And when they do go for passes or try to collect passes, they've never really quite been in that right spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's kind of like different things you bring to the team, and possibly a different team dynamic. I don't remember exactly, because I know we've seen Snawa and I think we've seen all three of these players in UniLeague before. I just don't remember if they played together. And even if they did, maybe in the off season, you know, Muhammad Ali has just been grinding like solo human technical skills.
Maccas run, like they've always been a name-grabbing team because you see that University of New South Wales Maccas run and you get excited, but they've never had a deep AEL run. Like they've never been a front runner in this competition, right? They're usually on the mid or lower end of the brackets that they're in. So it's been a team that's been improving throughout the years, and I don't know. I feel like it's situations like this where they have wins in their grasp, but they sometimes just let it go as Frio puts in all the work right here. A little bit of help from Ice providing some bump pressure, and you got yourself a tie game.
Yeah, once again, I completely agree with you. I think there was opportunity there for UNSW to really kind of put their foot down on this series. But it's just not quite happening. A great play off the back there, but Frio actually does get that extra connection to put it in, and that's, maybe I'm wrong on this one, but I feel like Murdoch, when they're given an opportunity, definitely are able to capitalize on it a lot better than I think UNSW.
That was 2 straight-up misses from University of New South Wales, and I feel like that's the second time we've seen Frio get an awkward goal like that in this game alone.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fair point, actually. I thought there might be something there for Anatar. Frio just making that final second defense. Muhammad Ali is there to clean it up. That does put the scores back to even. And I guess the sort of secondary point about having that, pardon me, really heavy like mechanical player is that things like this do just happen sometimes. You know, sometimes you get to attribute 1 or 2 goals per game to just Muhammad Ali doing stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, I do kind of agree with your point, I think.
I mean, it wasn't really a point. I feel like that's not something you could agree or disagree with. I mean, that was a straight up fact. They both missed the ball. Yeah, I know,
but it's like, you know what I mean? I'm tying back to it. I think Frio's been doing, been capitalizing those opportunities a lot, and it has been.
They have been. Frio has been. Frio absolutely has been, you know, the ultimate opportunist in this series. And, hey, it's pretty good right now for the side of Murdoch, who I think are the more composed team under pressure, actually. I mean, we're seeing that in the unforced errors. We're seeing that in the mistakes coming from the Maccas run side. And I think that composure is a big reason why they've been able to come back in this series right now. Even though New South Wales might be the more mechanical team, might be the stronger team, the amount of unforced errors as the series has progressed has been almost insurmountable. And if it does result in a New South Wales loss, then yeah, you'd have to call it insurmountable, the amount of mistakes once the pressure was put on.
Yeah. So just don't make those mistakes. That's like the easiest thing. That's easy to fix. You just put it overnight, right? Yeah. Just decide, hey, you know how we were making mistakes? Let's not do that anymore.
I like that. See, that's why you'd be the coach and not me.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You can do like the I don't know. I guess it's like
the stylist.
But yeah, that's it. That's stylist. There we are. Kind of like PR person, but like specifically for in-game content. Yes, Nala making a good attempt at it, but Ian just sails across the goal and is able to keep that one alive.
40 seconds left in regulation. It would only be fitting in this series that we'd go to a Game 5 overtime, but it'd also only be fitting in an AEL broadcast that what's supposed to make sense doesn't. That's why as we hit our final 30 seconds, I'm still expecting a goal, and it could be coming from the Maccas run side. Muhammad Ali with space actually let that one get away from them, turned it into a dunk. 20 seconds remaining, ball still being jammed in the corner. One last attempt for New South Wales. Anatar tries to find the bump, but the ball never even gets there.
Yeah, and I thought that it might have been a breakaway and kind of a goal cleaned up there for the side of Murdoch, but they just weren't able to get past that midfield control. Frio has an opportunity to begin with 5 seconds left. We haven't really seen these teams, especially with how like slow scoring the goals have been. We haven't really seen them threatening these overtime goals. It looks like actually Muhammad Ali is going to find a way to ground, and here it is, Game 5 overtime. Like you said, all of the marbles are in this one. Well, at least one series worth of marbles. You know, I think control, not sole control, but tied control of first place is being risked on this game on server time.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, how close these two teams are, it makes you think that they're going to be, you know, two teams competing in the standings, like, near each other. So this is actually a very pivotal goal already in our first game, as Ian couldn't quite put it straight on Skanawa. Now we'll be looking to read it through the corner. Frio's there, back down, should be red. Too many defenders in the way, though, for that shot to come through. Too many, of course, being only one. 30 seconds, though, into this overtime. There's the demo. There's the opening. Muhammad keeps it up high. And for some reason, Anawa didn't actually commit on the pass play. Sorry, Anatar didn't commit on the pass play right there. And that means more attack coming from Murdoch.
Yeah, it does, but they aren't able to get this ball too quickly. Actually, they are. Muhammad Ali leaves that one a little bit slow, and Anatar has to be the one to play spoil. But there's not much left in the goal. They are able to put the rotations back, as Anatar can't center that ball very well. Ian goes for a clearance out, but there isn't any player there as Snawa. Really awkward touch goes straight to the defender. And yeah, we're seeing sort of, I don't think the teams are intending to play this slowly, but it's sort of the eventuality based on sort of some of the awkward touches we're seeing.
Yeah, it's been a very strange overtime for sure. It's been a strange series with a lot of these touches and challenges and where the ball is wound up, although this could be Anatar looking to end it right now. Doesn't get the dunk needed against Ian, who will keep it up high over the top of Skanawa. Connects with Ice as well. That was three defenders committed, racing back. Muhammad Ali makes the save.
And Frio's trying to keep this ball active for a little bit longer. Ice tries to go for some half demo, half touch into the goal, redirect, but doesn't quite work through. Anatar gets a demo. This is how they scored last game. Anatar tries to go for the solo double touch as well. Doesn't quite work out. Muhammad Ali keeps his attack alive at least for a bit longer. Ian's going to pass this one up, sets it up for Ice. That's a nice redirect back to Ian, but it wasn't quite nice enough. I do appreciate, though, these players going for these really, really hard, big plays.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, you see it right there. Anatar just not enough boost to stay with it, but that was just still a very difficult play to pull off. And they're getting more and more risky, particularly on that New South Wales side. And while it makes for exciting play, I don't know if that's correct, especially considering the unforced errors are why they're here. Still, though, Mohammed with the shot tried to outpace Ian and just wound up pushing it a little bit too wide.
Yeah, but the Murdoch haven't quite cleared.
There it is.
Oh, an amazing touch there. Demo and the combination sort of 1-2 hit there. Now it's a really good job getting it up. Ice just didn't quite get that touch. There's the demo in the background, and that was just the perfect sequence of plays to seal out a 2-minute 30 seconds overtime to hand UNSW that series, their first win in their first series of this first season of 2022. We brought that full circle in the broadcast. I'm impressed, actually.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, a really, really good win from UNSW. I thought it was going to slip away from them. I thought the reverse sweep was real. I'm not gonna lie.
It was looking like that was going to be the case, but instead they find a way to survive. I mean, credit where it's due, though. Murdoch, great job fighting back. I mean, I'd say for, the final minute in overtime of Game 3, Game 4, and the majority of Game 5 even, it looked like they were the stronger team. But I also feel like they did get away with one in Game 3, how they were able to pull off that comeback. Overall, probably New South Wales was the stronger team. They just have to keep their nerves and their aggression in check in the future.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. But at the end of the day, congratulations to both of those sort of teams and all the winners from today, of course. I think there's some interesting teams to keep an eye on so far throughout the sort of 3 series we watched, and I'll be interested to see how all of those groups go. And of course, you know, we'll have more games for you next week, as well as lots of other events going on if you follow us on social media. But for now, that's all the series we have time for.
Yeah, that is going to do it for us here, as I'm just kind of scrolling through the groups one last time so you can take a quick look at some of these standings right now to see where these teams are fitting. I don't know how this works. How does everyone have a win in Group F? Either way,
fantastic people.
Look at that. Group F just dominated. I mean, we saw teams lose in this group, but the platinum nums. Yeah, that is going to do us for today. We will be back, though, next week, continuing along here with, again, one of the biggest seasons ever here at AEL. So many different teams competing. It's going to be a bit of a bloodbath, and one that you're going to want to stick with, not to mention all the other great esports. I mean, you still have your Rainbow Six, you still have your Dota, World of Tanks starting as well next Tuesday. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be great fun. All of those games are really, really exciting, and you know there'll be more throughout the year.
That there will be, but yeah, for us, it's been Fetch up above, Formal down below. I'm going to go ice my throat, and I will hopefully see you all next week.